classification. Here's what we have though right now with Tropical Storm Alberto, and it's moving to the northeast now at 8 miles an hour, so continuing to look for the landfall sometime tomorrow morning. But really with this we want to watch the convection area because it's that rain that we're most concerned about with the potential for flooding, although Florida can certainly use the rain. So here's the projected path for the next 72 hours. But with this, I want to caution again, you don't want to just look, this is the center of the storm, but a lot of the rain with this has been actually kind of on the right side, so we'll continue to watch the rain even outside of this cone that we're watching for the center target as this does continue to move in. And we take another look at kind of that first name storm of the season. A little bit more unusual that these make a landfall in the United States. Again, going back since 1965, that's only happened 16 times with our first name storm, more often that it has not made landfall. So there at least the storm is not so unique, but a little bit off the averages. As we watch the advisories for today, we're looking anywhere from Indian Pass, Florida to Englewood, Florida for those tropical storm warnings. And the big...
Here's the way it looked in Cuba so far. The Caribbean and Cuba have had the greatest impacts from Alberto. The video on the left-hand side of your screen is from Cuba, where the heavy rains are causing flooding. On the right-hand side of your screen is Tampa, Florida, and that's where waves have grown taller as Alberto draws near.
And we will keep you ahead of Alberto as it heads toward the Florida West Coast. Meteorologist Mike Seidel joins us live now from Fort Myers Beach, Florida. And Mike, how much rain have you seen this morning?
Not much. I can tell you that we've had a few light showers. I don't have the official total, but I'd say less than 1/10 of an inch since we got out here about 3 or 4 hours ago. And yesterday, officially, Fort Myers had a 1/4 inch of rain. We'll take all we can get because it's been very dry in the southeast and especially in Florida. We've had over 3,200 wildfires since January 1st, burning 175,000 acres of land in the Sunshine State. So everybody, basically, except some of the tourists, are happy that we're getting some of this rainfall. Let me show you what I'm talking about, and let's go to Sky Tracker right now and show you what's going on. The heaviest rain by far is north of where we are, up the coast, north of Cape Coral, up towards Sarasota, Bradenton, the Tampa-St. Pete area, getting pretty good shellacking right now as the rain rolls in off the Gulf. Most of it is basically moving south to north with a tendency of a drift towards the east. And we do have yet another tornado warning now for Hillsborough County. That's the metro Tampa Bay area based on Doppler radar, seeing some rotation there. And this is not all that surprising because of landfalling tropical system. We have increased spin and we have increased directional shear, the wind's changing direction with height. So again, Hillsborough County, tornado warning until 9:30. Let me show you what it was like this weekend in the Florida Keys. Well, not the best weekend to do some bone fishing or head down to Key West and enjoy the sounds and certainly always the sights in Key West. Key West getting some fairly heavy rainfall. Again, they're the farthest point south of the U.S., so they really got the rainfall first as this developed into a tropical depression on Saturday. Nothing like Grand Cayman got. They got 23 inches of rain from what was a big tropical low, then depression. And there's your rainfall totals. Key West officially over the weekend, 1 2/3. Immokalee, not far from here, 1.5 inches, almost 1.5 inches. And so it goes. So we're going to have rainfall totals generally in the 2 to 4 inch category. There may be some locally heavier amounts, especially from Tampa around the Big Bend up towards Apalachicola, and then across that area, including Lake City, even Jacksonville, southeast Georgia. Another very dry spot will do very well as Alberto brings the rain in, but brings little in the way of surge, wind damage, and coastal flooding.
All right. Thank you, Mike. And we do have a new tornado watch that is in effect. This also includes Tampa. Now with more on Alberto, here's Marshall.
Yeah, it's getting pretty rough around the Tampa area, and this thing is also a rainmaker. Alberto, quite a rainmaker. One popular tourist destination in the Caribbean got almost 2 feet of rain. In Cuba, floodwaters are almost up to the hoods of vehicles. Alberto is expected to produce total rainfall accumulations of 10 to 20 inches over the western half of Cuba, with some isolated totals of 30 inches over the higher terrain. Now, these rains could produce life-threatening flash flooding and mudslides, too. Rainfall is expected to begin to diminish across western Cuba tonight. So far, Grand Cayman has received the most rain from Alberto, nearly 2 feet of rain. Belize City got about 7.5 inches of rain, and in Jamaica, Montego Bay received just over 2.5 inches. Well, Alberto continues to churn to the north-northeast, getting close to the Florida border. Its winds are up to 50 miles per hour, moving north-northeast at 8 o'clock. That's as of the 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time advisory, which is 8 o'clock Eastern